Chapter 69, The Echo That Waited. Part 1. The flight was silent. No roars, no fire. Just the sound of two dragons cutting through morning mist above. The coast of Wales. The clouds parted around, them like cloth torn by will. Below, the land stirred as if in recognition. They flew until the cliffs blurred beneath them, until even the wind seemed to hesitate. Then Decima slowed. Not from exhaustion, but knowing. They landed in a charred clearing outside the ruined hollow where it had all begun. The spiral of ash from the earlier vision still lingered, faint but glowing. Something had waited here, had marked this place. As Decima's claws touched the scorched ground, her form shimmered, scales fading, bones reshaping, until she stood in human form again. Not entirely human. Her eyes still held the storm. Her veins still glowed faintly. Daniel landed beside her, breath unsteady. He hadn't spoken since their flight. His transformation had held, but the weight of it was still, settling across his shoulders. Decima looked at the spiral. It called us back. Daniel didn't argue. His gaze fixed on the center of the ruin, on the echo, because it was still there. The creature hadn't moved. It stood like a sentinel, four-legged, horned, its body streaked with molten light. Not flesh, not memory, a flame echo left behind by something ancient. And yet, it watched them like it had been waiting since the beginning. Decima stepped forward. We're not who we were. The echo tilted its head. Daniel's hands flexed. Fire stirred at his fingertips. Natural now, reflexive. It's not threatening. No, Decima said. It's judging. The echo circled them slowly, silent but deliberate. Its shadow brushed their skin like smoke against skin. Its eyes burned gold. It stopped behind Daniel. And then spoke, not aloud, not in voice. Through the bond. Now you know what was kept from you. Daniel tensed. It speaks. Now you must choose what to do with it. Decima reached for him. We already did. But the echo pulsed once, and the spiral expanded, and the world bent. Not downward, but inward. They didn't fall. They were pulled into fire, into memory, into something that waited in the ash all along. Part 2. They landed in silence. Not on Earth. Not in the vault. But in a space made of memory and magic, gold-lit darkness stretching in every direction, like the inside of a flame viewed from beneath. The air shimmered. The ground beneath their feet wasn't solid, just ash woven into light. Daniel stepped beside Decima, still half-shifted, his form flickering. Where are we? A place that remembers us, she said. Or what we were meant to be. A soft sound echoed through the vastness. Footsteps. Figures. Emerged, ghost-like, rippling at the edges, all cloaked, some burned, some broken. They walked without weight, without sound, without form. They passed Decima and Daniel one by one, until one stopped, a woman. Her eyes were black, but flame flickered behind them. Her hair was ash silver, wild and free. She looked at Decima with recognition, but not warmth. You wear what we couldn't, the woman said, voice echoing like a distant storm. Daniel moved forward, but Decima caught his arm. The woman raised one hand, just one finger, and pointed toward them both. If he burns too brightly beside you, she said, the fire will choose. Decima's breath caught. Choose what? But the woman didn't answer. She vanished, drawn back into the flame, and in her place something rose. Not a figure, a throne, massive, forged of firebone, dragon-shaped, empty, but its pull was immediate. At its base, half hidden in glowing ash, was a name etched in shifting gold, but this time, Decima couldn't read it. The flames blurred the letters, holding them back. Daniel took a step forward. I've seen this. In dreams, always empty. And now? Decima asked. He hesitated. It's waiting. The flame behind them pulsed once more, and then they fell again. This time not into fire, but into themselves. Back into the clearing. Back into silence. Only the echo remained, watching. Still, waiting. The creature didn't move. It stood at the edge of the ruin like a statue carved from flame and ash. Four-legged, horned, its body glowing with molten streaks. The air around it shimmered. The heat wasn't unbearable. It was measured, like the flame echo was holding back. Decima stepped closer. The others stayed behind. Even Daniel, his hands flickering with fire, ready to defend her if needed, didn't move. Something in the air told them all the same thing. This wasn't a fight. It was a judgment. The echo tilted its head as she approached, as if curious, or remembering. "Do you recognize me?" she asked it. No answer came, but the spiral of ash beneath its feet began to glow, just faintly, like veins of gold waking beneath the dust. She raised her hand. The fire answered. A coil of silver flame circled her wrist, gentle, pulsing. The echo mirrored her movement, one limb rising slowly, like smoke learning to take shape. Then it moved. Not toward her, around her. It circled her once, slow and heavy, dragging its shadow through the ash. Its gold-lit eyes didn't blink. It was testing her. Not her strength. Not her fire. Her memory. "You want to know who I am?" Decima whispered. The creature stopped behind her. The air tightened. And then, without warning, the ground flared. The spiral of ash expanded into a ring, and the world tilted. She didn't fall. But she wasn't standing anymore. The spiral became sky. Ash became stars. The ruin was gone. So was the echo. Decima floated in a space made of gold-lit darkness, like the inside of a flame viewed from below. She wasn't alone. Daniel stood beside her. His eyes were wide, his body glowing faintly, veins lit like rivers under skin. "You're in it too?" she asked. He nodded slowly. "I didn't touch anything. It pulled me in." They looked forward. A figure formed in the distance, cloaked in light but broken at the edges. It walked without walking, like memory given shape. Then another. And another. Dozens of them. All wearing the cloak she saw in the ruin. Some burned, some crumbling. They passed by her like echoes. Like warnings. One of them stopped. A woman, hair like silver ash, eyes black with flame inside. She looked straight at Decima. "You wear what we couldn't." Daniel reached for Decima's hand, instinctive, but the woman raised one finger. "If he burns too brightly beside you, the fire will choose between you." The world flared again. The woman vanished. Then came a throne, massive, formed from the bones of fire-forged dragons. On it sat no one, but Decima felt its pull, and at its base a name, etched and flickering. Varian. Daniel's grip tightened. "I've seen that before," he said. "In my dreams." The throne. The vision trembled. And then they fell. Not downward, but inward. Back into themselves. Back into the ash. They hit the ground hard, landing in the middle of the ash spiral. The ruin was back. Broken stones, scorched ground. The air still heavy with heat. But something was different. The space felt quieter, like it was listening. The flame echo stood exactly where it had been, but it wasn't glowing as brightly anymore. Its molten streaks had cooled to deep orange, its stance less threatening. Then it did something none of them expected. It lowered its head. A full bow. Daniel blinked. "Is it submitting?" "No," Decima said, her voice low. "It's acknowledging something." She didn't move. Neither did the others. Even Maela kept her distance, watching with wide, guarded eyes. The echo rose, turned, and stepped away. No flames. No smoke. Just ash shifting under its feet as it walked back toward the edge of the ruin. It didn't vanish this time. It just stopped and waited, like it had done its part. Decima turned. Whatever it showed us, it wasn't just history. It was a warning. Daniel nodded slowly. And a choice. There was a long silence. Then the ash in the center of the spiral began to lift. It moved in a pattern, swirling upward like smoke, but forming sharp lines. A glowing symbol appeared in the air, pale orange shifting slightly, like it was alive. Decima narrowed her eyes. "It's a name." Daniel stared. "The one under the throne. Varian." No one spoke. Maela finally stepped forward. "That's not in the archives," she said. "Whatever that name means, it's not written anywhere in council records." "Maybe that's the point," Decima replied. "It was meant to be forgotten." The symbol burned a little brighter, then vanished, leaving only the smell of smoke behind. Decima moved first. She stepped through the center of the ash spiral, eyes still locked on the spot where the glowing symbol had vanished. The air felt heavier now, like the magic had left a mark, even if it was invisible. Daniel followed, his expression tense. "What was that place?" "Where we went?" She shook her head. "Not a vision. More than that. It pulled us in, like it wanted to show us something buried." "Varian," he said again. That name, it felt familiar. But wrong. Mayela approached from behind. Her coat pulled tightly around her as if the heat hadn't faded. "We need to get out of here now. That thing might come back." Decima turned to face her. "It won't." "How do you know?" "Because it got what it came for." Mayela looked ready to argue, but Daniel stepped in. "She's right. Whatever that was, it tested us, judged us, and it left." "I'm not happy about it," Mayela muttered. "Echoes don't just appear, especially not ones that powerful." "We've seen worse," Decima replied. "And we're still standing." A sudden gust of wind pushed through the ruins. This time it didn't carry ash, it carried sound. A low hum. It came from deeper in the earth. From below, everyone froze. Daniel stepped closer to the edge of the spiral. "It's not finished." Decima narrowed her eyes. "No, it's waking up something else." They looked down. Cracks had started to form around the outer ring. Fine lines, glowing with the same pale orange light as the rune, and from somewhere beneath them, a heartbeat. Slow, deep, ancient, not human. The heartbeat grew louder, not through sound, through pressure. Decima could feel it under her boots, a slow thud that shook the cracked stones. The others felt it too. No one spoke. Then the earth moved. A tremor. Small, controlled, but sharp enough to shift the ruins. Dust dropped from broken arches. One of the outer stones cracked down the center. Mayela raised a protective shield around them without being asked. Daniel stepped in front of Decima. The cracks widened, then stopped. Silence returned, tight and stretched like a held breath. And then, the ground inside the spiral sank. Not collapsed, lowered. A perfect circle of stone dropped down about a meter, forming a shallow glowing basin. Inside it, carvings. Rough, ancient, unfinished. But they matched what Decima had seen in the flame space. The cloaks, the thrones, the dragon bone shapes, symbols scratched into the base of the stone like warnings left behind. Daniel stepped forward first. His eyes locked on one symbol in the center, a flame inside a circle, pierced by 2 lines. He crouched, reached out. "Don't touch it," Mayela warned, but Decima had already stepped beside him. "He has to." Daniel looked up at her. "I know what it is now." She nodded once. "Then do it." He placed his hand flat over the symbol. Nothing happened for a moment. Then the light flared, not upwards but inward, into him. Daniel gasped. His back arched slightly, not in pain and in shock. The light vanished. His hand dropped away, and the heartbeat stopped. Just like that. Silence. Daniel stood slowly. His veins still glowed faintly. "It showed me something. A name, a place." Mayela stepped forward. "What place?" He looked at Decima, not her. "A vault. Under the coast, beneath the cliffs." Decima's eyes narrowed. "What's inside?" Daniel didn't answer straight away. Then he spoke. "Dragons."